Welcome back to This Week in Weed. Let's take a look at our top stories.
Members of the Normal Legal Committee filed suit yesterday against the state of New Jersey over regulators' failure to implement the Compassionate Use of Medical Marijuana Act. Signed into law by former Governor John Corzine on January 18, 2010, the law, which establishes creation of up to 6 state-licensed alternative treatment centers to provide medical cannabis to qualified patients, was initially scheduled to take effect in July 2010. Since that time, state regulators, at the behest of the President-Governor, Chris Christie, have unduly delayed the law's implementation. In the 27 months since the measure was signed into law, no treatment centers have obtained the necessary licenses to open for business, and not a single patient in New Jersey has been afforded legal protections under the Act. On Wednesday, April 4th, Normal Legal Committee attorneys, William H. Buckman of Moorestown and M. Davis of Brick, filed a lawsuit on behalf of a New Jersey medical patient who qualifies for cannabis access under state law. The suit also represents a physician who is registered with the state to recommend medical marijuana. Named in the suit are the Department of Health and Senior Services Commissioner, Mary O'Dowd, and the newly appointed Director of Medicinal Marijuana Program, John O'Brien. A solid plurality of Americans now support legalizing and taxing the production and sale of cannabis, according to a nationwide Rasmussen Poll of 1,000 adults. According to the poll, 47% of adults believe that the country should legalize and tax marijuana in order to help solve the nation's fiscal problems. 42% of respondents disagree, while 10% are undecided. Washington, D.C. health officials selected 6 companies to provide medical cannabis in compliance with the district's nascent medical marijuana law. These companies must still apply for their business license and building permits from the Department of Consumer and Regulatory Affairs. That process is expected to take less than 2 weeks. All of the selected applicants signed a waiver releasing the city from criminal liability if federal officials decide to take action against the facilities. In recent months, agents from the U.S. Department of Justice, the IRS, and the DEA have targeted multiple medical cannabis dispensaries, including, in some instances, those licensed by state and local officials. Belgian drivers injured in traffic accidents are far more likely to possess drugs and alcohol in their systems than are Dutch drivers, according to data to be published in the journal Forensic Science International. Researchers reported, in Belgium, more drivers were found positive for alcohol and drugs than in the Netherlands. Alcohol was the most prevalent substance among injured drivers in Belgium and the Netherlands. In Belgium, there were more positives for THC. In Netherlands, almost no positive findings for THC were recorded. From these findings, investigators concluded, the lower prevalence of alcohol in the Netherlands is associated with a much lower number of crashes and killed and injured drivers. Despite the high prevalence of THC found in the general driving population, surprisingly almost no THC was found in the Dutch injured driver population.
That's it for This Week in Weed. Be sure to check back every Thursday for the latest stories of marijuana law reform.